I went out and looked to my left. Everywhere was empty. I went out again. And as I was exiting, I signaled to the right so that people would see I was coming out, so they wouldn't necessarily wait for me to turn. They saw me too. They had already gone out. I sped up, sped up, sped up, and then merged. So joining the highway at around 100, 110 is reasonable. I checked behind me with a shoulder glance. Look, as you can see, even though all 3 lanes are empty, what am I doing? I'm driving in the far right lane, not in the far left. I never drive in the middle lane. If the far right lane is empty, you can drive in the far right, even if you're going 300. That's how it is. When you're going 250, you might think, oh, I'm going 250. Don't block the far left lane just because you think you're going really fast. Someone going 300 could come up behind you. Even when you're going 300, don't just cruise there. Someone going 350 could come up from behind. This has actually happened. Hello, welcome. Today, once again, we're leaving work together. We're heading home. But as you may have noticed, today, for the first time, I'm trying it with a head camera. I'm going to talk about German traffic. I'll talk a bit about the flow as well. As you can see, there's a yellow sign. The moment we see the yellow sign, we drop down to 50. This means you've entered a village, or rather, you've entered the city. Here, in any case, you immediately drop to 50. Right here, it's interactive. And there's a roundabout ahead of us. How do I look there? How do I go? How do I check behind me? Yes, I've arrived. Of course, as I approach, I slow down. The right of way inside the roundabout. That's why, for example, I saw this. He didn't signal to the right. I stopped and then immediately joined behind him. As I exited to the right, I used the turn signal. I said, Dad, I'm exiting to the right, just so you know. If anyone wants to enter, let them do so. And then I exited. I'm coming up to another one again. Again, I look to my left in the same way. If there's no one on my left, I enter. I look to my left and there is someone coming anyway. First, I need to look at the person in front of me. Only after the person in front of me exits can I exit. What a beautiful view. I exited, looked to my left, and everywhere was empty. As I exited again, I signaled to the right so that people would know I was leaving, no need for them to wait for me to turn. They saw me too. They had already exited. I signaled to the left and immediately merged left so that the impatient one behind me could go as soon as possible. I immediately turned left. Yes, now I sped up, sped up, sped up. I accelerated to fourth gear, sped up, and then merged. So joining the highway at around 100, 110 kilometers per hour is reasonable. I looked behind me, did a shoulder check, and continued. Thankfully, the Audi in the middle lane gave way to me. Thank you very much. And as soon as you merge, at the very least, press the gas as much as the car can go. So 100, 110, 110, let's say that's the lowest reasonable and acceptable speed. Percentage, but you kill a lot. I mean, you slow down the flow, but 110, 120 is the most reasonable, and the recommended is 130. On German Autobahns, 130 is the recommended speed. Look, as you can see, even though all 3 lanes are empty, what am I doing? I'm driving in the far right lane, not in the far left. I never drive in the middle lane. If the far right lane is empty, you can even drive there while going 300 kilometers per hour. Is there any problem with that? No, go ahead and do it. Do this, make others do it too. In fact, it's forbidden in Germany. If the police see you in the middle lane for 15 or 16 seconds, I mean, if they see you beyond the time it takes to overtake, because the time to overtake is about that long. If they see you, I don't even know what they do. This is Germany after all. At that point, it's up to your imagination. They could do all sorts of things. So the best thing is to drive all the way on the right, following the rules. As you may have already heard in our previous driving school video, they really emphasize this in driving school. They talk about it. They teach it thoroughly. Keep to the far right. Always drive on the far right. Now, you might say, for example, I'm driving at 200, 250 kilometers per hour. That's possible. It's not a problem at all. In that case, it actually comes down to interpretation a bit. 250 is like this. For example, I didn't get back behind the truck here. Why not? Because, in a second, I'm going to pull out again anyway. There's no need to go that far. But I looked at the next traffic and, oh, it's far away. And my speed is in the 120, 130 range. I'm not going 300, so there's still some time before I reach that point. Who the hell is that? Just standing there like a radar, for fuck's sake. God forgive me. There's no radar here, not that kind of radar, man. I mean, maybe it's the police or something. Can there be plainclothes police? It could be. What did I do? I got closer, closer, closer. Now I'm approaching slowly, little by little. I need to dodge to the left. I'm making my move to the left. Don't just come here and hit the brakes for no reason. Adjust yourself ahead of time accordingly. I move to the left. I'm checking. The right lane is clear. There's still space on the right. I immediately moved into the right lane and I'm checking. Until then, let the middle and left lanes flow. I shouldn't block them because there are 1, 2, 3, 4 cars. So there's about 6 or 7 seconds to reach it. Okay, I'm going at 130. I'm fast, but still, there's time. What did I do at that moment? I merged with the others. I looked to the left. Please check your blind spot. Check over your shoulder. I mean, when changing lanes, looking over your shoulder is very important. This is something you tend to miss. I sometimes miss it too. I strongly recommend it to you. It can save your life. It can save your car. I checked again in the distance. My speed is very fast. It's not extremely fast, but I'm overtaking C, for example, in the middle lane. The guy in the middle decided not to overtake or chose not to. That's his choice. Actually, if he had gone just a bit faster, he could have overtaken. He could have. So as I said, this is somewhat open to interpretation. Now I'm looking, someone is coming from the middle. I check the center mirror. He's coming. All right, he'll pass like that. I actually adjusted my speed a bit according to him. I was about to say, there's a guy coming really fast from the very back. He must have hit the brakes. Okay, so I'm also adjusting my speed a bit according to him. Of course, on the highway, the most important thing for fuel efficiency is to use the brakes as little as possible. If you use the brakes less, it means you're flowing smoothly. Let the car flow as much as it can. It shouldn't be constant braking, gas, brake. The car burns a lot of fuel that way. And besides, you're also treating the car roughly, wearing it out. Now, look, everyone is overtaking me from the middle lane. Look, not from the far left, but from the middle lane. Because here, while I'm going at 130, someone else might be going at 160 in the middle lane. So what's the emptiest lane? The far left one, right? I mean, let's say you're going at 250 in the middle lane. There could always be some maniac coming up the far left lane. For example, there's a friend of ours. Look, he's just speeding by. We could say he's going at around 180 right now, or maybe 160. I'm going at 140. But his thing is probably 180. What did I do? I moved all the way to the right, left the lane open. For example, there are also people like this up ahead. Actually, there's a bit of traffic. That's why they're going in the far left lane. But that's also a factor. Along with being together in the comments, it's also very obvious in other ways. I can go in the far left lane here anyway. I shouldn't be going in the middle either. It's like this. When you're going at 250, don't think, oh, I'm going at 250. I'm so fast and block the far left lane. Someone going 300 can come up behind you. Don't assume the same thing when you're going 300. Someone going 350 can come up behind you. This has happened exactly like this. I mean, let me say, in my early days on the highway, I'm going at 200, 210, 220 like that. I'm like, wow. Of course, and I've forgotten to check the rear camera, the rear view mirror. In the rear view mirror, I see someone is right on my tail. The guy is he's going at 300. That's why you should try not to occupy the lane as much as possible. The road is completely empty. Of course, I'll drive in the far right lane. If you want, you can go from the far right with 3 faces. You can enter the far right lane at 300. It's no problem at all. Or for example, our friend has a car that does 240, 250. Wow, our friend, with the advice of some people, is driving in the far left lane. Well, of course, you can also drive like that by constantly checking the rear view mirror. Maybe it could even be more comfortable, more relaxing. Because, let me just open a small parenthesis here. In Germany, at least, I know Germany very well, but also in other parts of the world. Timo. The one coming from behind, the one who hits from behind, is always at fault. That's 100%. The one driving fast is also at fault. I mean, if you're going at 200, it means you're taking responsibility for the speed you're driving at. Dude, did they burn this place down or what? Wow, unbelievable. Look, apparently they burn fields here too. So when you're going at 200, it means you're taking responsibility for that speed and you drive accordingly. The one who is speeding is always at fault. That's why when you're driving fast, you should think a bit more like, hey, I'm going fast. Am I okay with this? Is my car okay? Is my mental state okay? For example, you need to check and assess that for yourself internally. Let me just say that. For example, now he's driving in the middle lane. Of course, this will slow down the traffic because at some point I also need to move to the left lane. But there's a car coming in the left lane. Honestly, I use the center rear view mirror more than the left mirror on the German Autobahn. because this center mirror, the rear view mirror can show much further back behind the car. It gives me better arguments and more comprehensive information about what's happening on the road. The left side mirror, on the other hand, is shorter in its field of view. At least it doesn't show the far right lane or what's happening in that area. And there are other limitations like that. So having the rear view mirror really helps me make safer and more informed decisions while driving. Because right now I'm in the far left lane. When I'm in the middle lane, let's say it's completely empty behind me, but there could be someone coming up fast in the far right lane. I can't see them in the left mirror, the left side mirror. I can see them from the center mirror. That's why, to be honest, I use the center mirror more. It's an enjoyable situation. Again, I moved over to the right lane. Since I'm someone who pays a bit more attention to this, I tend to go right center, a bit more to the right center, like that. There are also people who can be bothered. For example, I have a friend who, let alone changing lanes, can't even be bothered to shift gears. There are such people, and I respect that. So I'm just not one of them. I like looking, checking. I feel a bit more in the flow that way. For example, now someone moved all the way to the right. I see that, but their speed isn't very fast. So I can move to the center lane. They're coming from the far left. I didn't move to the right. Why? Because someone in front of me already moved to the center lane. It would be completely pointless for me to move all the way to the right. Now we're doing it. This is a critical point. A man will come from my far left. A car is going to come. Let them come. We've given them the right of way. But I'm getting closer to the one in front of me. I've moved all the way to the left. I'm looking from the center lane. Look, what I can see from the left, I can see from the center. The guy behind me in the center lane also moved to the left, but he's not very fast. He'll pass in a moment. So he could give me a bit more breathing room. Now he's passing. I haven't used the left mirror for any of these. Use it. Of course, use it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I got all this information from the center mirror. Use it a lot. Use the mirror as much as possible. But here's the thing, how exactly is the car flowing? That's the key point. It flows like this, straight ahead, moving forward. That's why please look ahead more than you look in the center mirror. Just look ahead. Just a quick glance, get the info and move on. Because like life, this also moves forward. Always forward, always forward, always forward. Look behind you, get your information. And in situations like this, don't neglect to check over your shoulder either. I never occupied it. I moved back to the right again. I'm not moving all the way to the far right because my speed is 140. I'm already going fast. If you keep weaving in and out, you'll make it harder for the person behind you. Like, is he going in? Is he coming out? What's he going to do? Don't make it difficult for them. So it's important to be clear. Our Tesla, the Tesla electric car you need to be clear. Now I was able to move all the way to the far right because up ahead, the traffic is already flowing smoothly. So it's not a problem. Yes, as you can see, the weather is really nice, so there's nothing to be afraid of. Please watch. If you have any questions, write them below. I'd be happy to explain. If even one person watches this video and thinks, yeah, let's go to Germany one day. Maybe they're already living in Germany, or maybe not this applies to highways all over the world. Look, these are real police officers anyway. This applies everywhere. It applies to Turkey as well. In Turkey too, the far right lane shouldn't be the fastest one like in England. So follow these rules and everyone will be happy. If you drive at 80 in the far left or middle lane, believe me, you affect all the lanes. All the lanes slow down. Then people start weaving through traffic. Why does weaving through traffic happen? Well, if you drive at 80 in the middle lane, while the far right is empty, people will pass you on the right. And if a car comes up in the far right lane in front of you, what happens then? The middle lane is empty. They move to the left, then to the other lane, and suddenly they're weaving through traffic. Of course, I'm not talking about those who weave through traffic recklessly. I exclude them. I'm in a different case, but they're also well-intentioned people, Some just want to get somewhere quick. Come on, man. In Istanbul traffic, you wait and end up feeling like a potato. Suddenly, things get tight. Look, that one was about to exit, and now he's in front of me. I'm not squeezing anyone. I eased off the gas so he could get out, see? Traffic is about tolerance. Traffic is about empathy. I could have been in that guy's place too. What did I do? I gave way. I eased off the gas so he could get in front of me comfortably. And I didn't tailgate him afterwards going, or anything. You get it? It could be him. It could be me, especially for our trucker brothers, sisters, and friends. We need more tolerance. They're already driving for 7-8 hours straight. The one I use here is an hour and a half, or something like that. That guy is driving like this for 8 hours. Tolerance is really important at that point. Show them some tolerance so that later on, they might do something for you, help you out. You'll settle up. You'll understand each other. These things matter. They matter to me. I'm heading out. Like I said, I won't drag this out much longer. When you drive fast like this, we end up burning more fuel. Damn it. Let's see right away. How much is it? We started burning fuel at 5.4 liters per 100 kilometers. Nice. Yeah, I know. 5.4 is still low. But for a car with a 3-cylinder engine, it's not exact well. It doesn't really go. You have to press the gas a bit to get it moving, and that's when it burns more fuel. I hope you like this new camera angle. I hope you like the sound as well. It's gonna keep getting better and better. I have many new projects coming up, both in terms of visuals and audio. Let these be the first steps. Let's take it slow. We'll improve gradually. What really matters is the conversation. What really matters is the narration. That will always keep getting better. It will improve along with everything else. Thank you for watching. See you in the next videos. Take very good care of yourselves.